All right, so here again, we're given a velocity graph. And the first question that we're asked is how far away from the starting point did this object end up? Now, we don't have any scale, right? We don't have any scale at all. I mean, this could be 10 miles, it could be 10 kilometers, it could be one mile. We really don't know. But you can see that we have 3 units here. We have 3 units in the positive direction here, represented here above the graph, right? Above the t-axis, right? This represents 0. That's really all we know. So we know that this velocity is positive. So we would normally take velocity as an increase in distance from whatever the reference point is. So this is what this portion of the velocity curve is telling us, that our distance from our reference point is increasing over time. And so in this portion of the curve that's above the t-axis, we've traveled 3 units, whatever those units happen to be. Okay. Now, what's happening down here? Here we have negative velocity. Now, negative velocity would mean that we're traveling in the opposite direction, right? So we're traveling back toward where we started. So the distance from our frame of reference is decreasing. It's either becoming less positive or more negative. All right. So this represents a distance of -3 units. Okay. So remember that, or displacement, I should say, displacement of -3 units. Okay. So we're traveling back to where we started. And so you can see that we traveled the same distance from our reference point, away from our reference point, as we traveled back toward our reference point. So really the object just ends up back where it started, right? So we traveled 3 units away from our reference point, or our starting point, and then we traveled 3 units back toward our reference point. And so our displacement, right? If I want to know what my displacement is, my displacement is 0, right? 0 units, because I'm back to where I started. Now, the second question asks us, what's the total distance that the object traveled? So I think this example really illustrates the difference between displacement and distance. Because, if you went out for a run, let's say, and you ran for 3 miles, or you ran 3 miles away from your house, and then 3 miles back toward your house, you covered some distance, right? You don't want to get credit for 0 displacement. You want to know what your distance is. So, your distance, the distance that you traveled, is actually 6 units. Okay, so your distance is 6 units. That's how far you traveled, but your displacement is 0 because you ended up back where you started. All right, I will meet you in the next example.